We're actually at one of our 2-family houses that we got at a foreclosure auction. And back when we were doing this, they didn't have the phrase, and let's just kind of call it the BRRRR strategy, or I've heard BRRRRs or BRRRR 2.0 or BRRRR whatever. I mean, everyone's kind of coining different things. The bottom line is it's an acquisition strategy on how to basically pull as much capital back out and have your capital working for you as best as possible. So we're going to go step by step over it while I walk through and check out this property. The tenant just moved out, so let's go check it out. Make sure you also grab a paper and pen, because you're going to want to learn this strategy, because this is a great way for you, whether you're buying foreclosure auction or other distressed assets, that you can then use this strategy to keep growing your portfolio, or maybe you just want one. Say hi, Naya. Oh, my guard dog. So this is a 2-family house that we bought at foreclosure auction now many years ago. It's been quite a while. So the first part of the BRRRR strategy, we'll just call it that for now, because that's what everyone else calls it, is, oh my God, what? Wow, that tenant left a crap load of stuff out. Oh my God, look at all the stuff there. Here we go. So I haven't seen this, so let's see how much work we have to do. This person's been here for 6 years, so probably needs a decent amount of renovation to get it to our today's standards. So buying it as a, first you're buying the property you want, and the key is buying a distressed asset. Why is that? You're gonna look, and you'll understand it a little bit more later, but by buying a distressed asset, any asset that needs some kind of value add, whether it be repainting the property to building value, or you're looking at the market and everyone has, for instance, let's go over here. Now everyone's got granite in your area. So this is a 4-bedroom apartment. So you need granite, add more cabinets, get rid of the VCT, putting LVP. So it looks nice so that you can command a higher rent. That could be a part of it. So you want to buy a distressed asset. One of the best ways we found time and time again is foreclosure auctions. We wrote the book on it, Foreclosures Unlocked, if you want to check it out on Amazon. But if you don't want to try that, if you don't have experience with foreclosure auctions, you can still buy stuff on the MLS. One way that I'm looking at, and Kevin and I are going to buy distressed assets, is by finding expired listings. This is something we did a lot. So expired listings, short sales, these are great strategies to find assets that are distressed that you can then buy at a discount so that you can then finish the strategy. Part of the big buy is also how are you going to acquire it. So that's the next thing that people ask all the time is, how do I actually, great, I found the property, how do I buy it? So that is where you're going to use using hard money or private lenders, or you've been friend and family, whatever you can do. There's a lot of different ways. Maybe you fund a HELOC, and that's where you basically take equity out of your home to purchase the property. There's a lot of different strategies you can use for that can allow you to acquire the property with, now you have to factor in the costs. A hard money lender generally is going to cost maybe 12 and 2. That typically means that they're going to be charging you 12% on the loan for the duration of the loan, and that's per annum, per year. And then they're also going to charge 2, so maybe that's 2 points. That's 2% of the loan they're charging. They might charge it right up front or add it into the loan. However, everyone does it a little differently. But that's something you're going to want to really keep in mind. So, once again, you're finding market rate tenants. That's the next thing back, and you're going to, rent these things out and rehab them like this. So after you're renovating it, you're then renting it out for maximum rental. So you want to look in and understand what is the maximum you can rent out for, that you get a good quality tenant. So that's the next thing. You don't want just any tenant. Like too often we were like, oh, we'll just take, this big program. Maybe it's a, subsidized program, whatever that, or a shelter program that, you get really good rents, but then your your maintenance is like through the roof. So you want to make sure you're, yeah, I gotta fix that window. So you want to make sure that you're getting a good quality tenant. And we've talked about videos on that, on how to find great quality tenants, or at least how we do it. We recommend. Ooh, look at that. That thing seen better days. Well, at least they trashed it out. They just put it all out in the front yard. So there's nothing in here, but it's all out on the front yard. This is crazy. So you're finding great quality tenants, screen them thoroughly. If you have a great property management company, maybe they're doing that for you. And the next thing is then going to be refinance. But now everyone's going to be a little different. We like to work with a lot of local banks, or there's some what's called DSCR lenders that will give you like long-term financing if you're going into a 1 to 4 family, or you might have to do a commercial loan, a commercial DSCR if you're doing a 5+. And that's where you're gonna, generally gonna get maybe what's called like a 25-year amortization with maybe a 5 or a 7-year balloon. So the payments will be over 25 years, but then you're gonna have to pay or refinance after 5 or 7 years, or the rate will adjust after that. So it's basically a fixed rate for 5 to 7 years. It used to be 10 years a lot, but as the market's changed, we're seeing less and less of that. And the thing though is to be mindful that you might have to be a seasoned investor. So if you have no experience with it before and you have no experience with that bank, what they might really require is a seasoning period, and that can be 6 to 12 months. So this is something you're gonna wanna factor into your holding costs. So if you have to hold it and have that hard money cost for 6 to 8 months, so I would recommend before you even acquire the asset, talk to local banks and figure out what you can get for a period. If they're allowing you to quickly refinance at a 75%, that's the next thing is what LTV will they do, what rate will they do, make sure it cash flows. So that's the next thing. So be mindful of that because that will add to your holding costs. So I don't want you getting to the part where you've renovated it, you got it all rented, maybe you're done in 2 to 3 months, and then you're like kind of there holding and you're like, wait a minute, I can't do anything. And so now you're having an extra holding cost at that 12 or 14% for the hard money loan. That's going to suck if you're not expecting it. So that's something to be mindful of. Luckily, we've made some great relationships with local banks. Thank you, Dave Chase at Freedom Credit Union, and so many of the others at Mark Romoli over at Greenfield Savings Bank. Thank you guys, appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And there's some others too that have been great and helped us grow and allow us to keep rolling the money next. So after you refinance, you're looking for, generally what I'm seeing right now is a 75% LTV. So let's just quick numbers. If you bought it for basically $50,000, you put $50,000 into it, and the bank's willing to give you a 75% LTV, that means they're willing to give you $75,000 at the closing. So hopefully with all that, you're getting all your money back out, or you're at least keeping maybe a little bit of money in, because that's what we're seeing more and more now, is you might be keeping a little bit of money in if you're not getting it as distressed as possible, as low as possible, or you can't get your rehab cost is costing more, or there's many unknowns. So we might be keeping a little bit of money. Before we were used to find where we were buying it and then we were getting all of our money out, and then sometimes we're getting large chunks of it tax-free back out, which might come back again, especially if the market shifts a little bit more. We're starting to see more short sales. That might be some way to even get stuff even cheaper. We're seeing, actually we just picked up like 3 foreclosure auctions at really prices where those easily could be full board where we're pulling all of our money out and then some. But if you don't have that access, you don't have that experience, you might be keeping some money in. You want to make sure that return on that capital that's stuck in is still good for you. So after you refinance is you kind of want to repeat this, kind of scale it. So if you're looking to do 2, 3 or whatever, maybe you just need to be, want to look at doing 4 and you 1 a year and get to your number that you're comfortable with. You don't need to grow like us to be, 500-700 units. Maybe you're just looking to get 10 units and that's all you really need. That's going to set you up for success. That's fantastic. Honestly, most people don't want the headaches that we have. They don't want to deal with, thousands of tenants and having all the issues, and then having, probably having either property management issues, or you're having, having to bring on a whole bunch of employees and dealing with that. Maybe they just, want something that is easily manageable, that they will still grow and that will appreciate. They'll be paying down principal over time, and that might be for the most part, I think 99% of people, that's going to be fantastic and it's going to change your life. So check it out. This is the BRRRR Method, or the BRRRR Method. We talk about it on here a lot. It's how we grew a lot of our portfolio. So once again, just kind of a quick recap. It is BRRRR, buy it, so buy a distressed asset, use hard money loans or private lending or your HELOC. Rehab the property. Ideally, you're getting some great discounts. Check in Home Depot, stuff like that, wherever you can do to keep your costs down as much as possible. Negotiate really well with contractors, but check on those contractors regularly. Make sure they're getting it done in a timely fashion. Rent it out. Find market rate tenants. Find great tenants for your units. Take a little bit longer to find the good tenant. Screen really well, or have a great property management that does it for you. Refinance. Find some local banks. Talk to some local or banks or some DSCR lenders. Try to lock in the best rate you can. 30-year fixed. This way you don't have to worry about it down the road. If you can get that, that's great. 1 to 4 that you can often do that. There's a lot of programs for that. And then repeat the process. Do it again as many times as you want, and as many times as what you're looking for your goals. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope to see you guys on the next one.